Hey, it's Dr. Kate Walker. Welcome to Thursday 30. I'm getting started a little bit late today. I apologize for that. I'm going to be checking your comments over here. Please let me know if you can't hear me or see me because, as usual, I'm trying out new stuff today. So my equipment today is the Logitech camera, and I'm using something called Logitech Capture, Brio Capture. And so it's going to allow me to share my screen with you today, which is super important because we are, am I sharing to groups? All right, I think I'm sharing it here. All right, cool. All right, here I go. And so looking at the new rules today because we should, because we need to. So first of all, why do a rules change? Why do a proposal for a rule? Well, some rules suck. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the changes. Now, not everybody was able to make the December 4th Zoom through the rules. So Zoom through the rules was a huge group. It was so many people and so many of you guys out there. I'm so proud of you. There were almost 200, actually, I think we had over 200 people on this Zoom call. I'll put it to you this way. We had so many that I had to rush into my Zoom account and increase my plan, right? Because we were busted through my 100 person limit. We went through BHEC and LPC and LMFT and started to understand how they all work together. And that's a wonderful thing, but let's think big picture, right? Really what we're trying to do is help as many Texans as possible. And we have an amazing organization now, the Behavioral Health Executive Council. We have our member boards, LPC, LMFT, social work, and psychology. We're all working together. We're trying to fill the gaps and make sure that we have Texans able to access affordable mental health care. And there are rules that are still getting in the way. Now, here's the good news. BHEC, Behavioral Health Executive Council, is there to do some oversight. So there is an appointed person designed, asked, created. Job description is to look over each rule and make sure that we are getting as much bang for our buck as we possibly can, right? We're not promoting rules that are working against us or working against Texans. So we're going to get into that more today, but you guys know that it's the paid stuff that pays for the free stuff. So I have a YouTube channel. I have these groups, Facebook groups, Texas Supervisor Training, Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses. That's you guys. And in order to pay my bills, I give the 40-hour training to become an LPC and LMFT supervisor in Texas. I think it's one of the only online, completely online, dual licensed LPC LMFT supervisor trainings in Texas. And this year we've had, I think, almost 100 graduates from my program. And it's amazing because I know tons of them are in this group. So please put your eyes open. If you know somebody who's looking to become a supervisor in Texas, first of all, pat them on the back because we need them. And we need good ones. And then please send them to Kate Walker Training. Also, remember, I have done a couple of presentations that are still live. I was at the Texas Counseling Association Professional Growth Conference. You can still access my refresher course that I did. I believe it's 6 CEs, Supervision and Ethics. You can still access the presentation I did with the amazing Cindy Doyle, Embracing Your Unique Counselor Identity and Building Your Badass Brand. That is also through the Texas Counseling Association Professional Growth Conference. Also, you can still access my presentation on Julia A. Rose Farewell 2020 Self-Care Tour, where I talked about time management and goal setting. And you can still access that by going to Julia A. Rose website and joining her farewell tour. It's still going on, and these videos stay live, so you can still access those. So remember to access, and if you like a video, if you're thinking about a video, if you're thinking, okay, there was a Thursday 30 that Kate did, and I can't remember where it is or what it looked like, I'm gonna just go to the YouTube channel, right? We're getting it all organized for you. I gave explicit directions to my daughter to please take out the cringy ones, right? So there are some that we're removing. So if there was a topic that you think was there and it's not there anymore, there's a good chance that we removed it because it was a little cringy. In fact, I think we used those words when we were talking about which ones we were going to get rid of. So it looks like we're doing good. I think we've got Sound is working, video's working. Super happy about that. I'm able to see you guys. You're able to see me. Oh my gosh, you guys don't know. It's the little victories. All right, now my favorite part. Let's do a shout out to our new folks. I didn't even count them this week. We had so many people joining Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses. And I know a lot of them were wanting to join the Zoom the Rules group last week. And I know we didn't record it. And the reason we didn't record it is because we're creating a safe space to ask silly questions, right? It's hard to ask silly questions if you feel like it's going to be recorded and sold. So welcome to, and I'm going to say your names the best I can, Satnam, Jesse Hernandez, Carla and Pierre Angeles, Sharon Wheeler Delgado, Ashley S. Nelson, Lauren Hawk Quas, Shanice A., Bethany Garay, Stephanie Newton Clark, Clarissa Christensen, Connie Maples, Jamie Elizabeth, Bobby Jones, Julie Ann Nachman, Akit Joshi, Abby Marie, Jackie K., Clarissa Salinas, Karen Cooper, Danny Tsunami, Tiffany Jackson, Sarah Stollard, Jim Counseling, Amy Moore Hunter, Casey Elizabeth, Jackie Wheat, Bridges Counseling Center of Cyprus, Laura Ross, Carolyn Jarvis McKee. Now let's get to work. Let's get your businesses up to badass. And if it's already badass, let's make it badassier. Also, you guys have to know this. You have about 7 days to nominate a badass for a $200 practice grant. One of the things we did during the Zoom the Rules call is we did donations, $3 donations, 3 on the tree. We raised, I think, like over $500, and Kate Walker Training LLC matched that. So we have $1,000 to give away. And what we decided to do is to give away 5 $200 practice grants. If you're watching this on YouTube and it's January, sorry, we'll do it again next year. So we still have time. You still have time. The only stipulation is the winner must be a member of Texas Counselors Creating Badass Businesses or our partner group, Texas Supervisor Training. We're not going to let you nominate yourself. You have to have somebody nominate you. And we're going to go through and see what people want to use the money for. And I've seen some great entries so far, everything from scheduling software to CEs. It's a really, really great way to boost an existing practice. Maybe you've been wanting to buy an hour of an attorney's time to make sure that your W-2 1099 stuff is in order. Maybe you have been wanting to sit with an accountant and talk about LLCs versus PLLCs. This is the money to go do that, to go ask those questions. Buy some new throw pillows. That's awesome too. You do you, whatever you'd like to do with the money. But we will select people for the $200 practice grant based on what they plan, what they're nominating, the person they're nominating, what they think they will use the money for. So share this post. We've got posts up in both groups and on the Kate Walker Training page. The amazing Laurel Clement, our attorney friend in Dallas, has shared it as well. Share, share, share. We just need to verify once we get the person who they are. We want to make sure that they're either a graduate student in mental health counseling, a practicing professional, or a practicing professional supervisor. And once we verify all that good stuff, we'll give you the money. All right. Now, moving on, let's get down to the rules. So, why? Why do we want to change the rules? Well, some rules suck, and some rules are unfair to business. What do I mean when I say unfair to business? Well, just a second, I got to close the door. You're going to hear my dog, Andy, bark. The pool guy just got here. Hang on, I'm coming back. All right, so you guys know my soapbox. Here's the thing. We have graduate students graduating from K-CREP accredited programs and other amazing programs. Remember, K-CREP doesn't mean it's perfect, right? But we have amazing programs all over Texas, K-CREP or not. And these folks are graduating with 60-hour degrees. 60, all right? That means they have taken more ethics, they've taken trauma courses, they've taken courses in addiction, family systems. They are so well prepared when they come to us, I'm a supervisor, I'm saying us, for supervision. We have Texans all over West Texas, in rural Central Texas, who have zero access to mental health providers. This is not This is, what do I say? Was my dad used to say, this is a no-brainer, right? We have got to connect these eager practitioners with folks who need mental health counseling. Yes, they're going to be new interns. Yes, I'm sorry, associates. It's going to take a special supervisor. Supervisors, if you are good at private practice and you feel the call to take on some interns to prepare them for private practice, we need to connect you two, right? But here's the thing, LPC associates still cannot operate in their own private practice. Now, there's a reason for that, and we can get into that. But in the past, it's been one of the reasons they didn't have a lot of classwork and there weren't a lot of people who could take them on. But now, my soapbox, I'm going to own this. I truly believe we need to let LPC associates practice in private practice. And don't think I'm crazy, I think they need to be able to be paneled by insurance. I think it's just going to take the right supervisor. So that's a double win-win, right? We've got great business opportunity for our LPC associates, great business opportunity for a special supervisor who's willing to take on and mentor these folks. And we have a win for our communities who will now be connected with graduates who are eager and willing and capable and supervised well, who can take them on and give them the help they need. They can provide, we can bridge these gaps in rural Texas. So this is just one thing I'm talking about. In fact, Summer Allen, the amazing Summer Allen, who started the Texas LPC Intern Association, is in the process right now of proposing a rule that would allow LPC associates to practice on their own. Again, I know this is going to take a special supervisor, and you may be watching this and you may be that special supervisor, and your wheels are turning right now because you know you could design a supervision experience to take someone from a level 1 to a level 2 to a level 3 and mentor them into an amazing practitioner. Right? If that's you, first of all, get over to the Texas Supervisor Training Group because you're a supervisor. Then we need to connect you guys to these interns. All right. So that's just one example of how changing a law, changing a rule can affect your business. All right. I'm going to do a fancy thing, and we're going to go to the LPC and LMFT changes that you maybe weren't able to see because you weren't on the Zoom the Rules call December 4th. Now I see 3 people. Who do we have? We got 5 people watching today. So you 5 people are going to get to see a little sneak peek of the Zoom the Rules from last week. So pat yourselves on the back because you're here. Give yourselves a thumbs up as I see if I can do my fancy thing and get this going. All right. So what you're seeing now is a PowerPoint slide. This is a PowerPoint slide that I created to do the Zoom the Rules. These are some of the changes for LPC and LMFT. Now, LPC consulting, the first bullet point, I was actually told and reminded that this had been in here for a while, but it sucks. This rule sucks, and here's why it sucks. LPC consulting counts as direct hours unless you are an LPC associate, right? So if you're a school counselor and you meet with a parent, if you're a LPC associate working in a hospital and you need to do a phone call with a parent to consult about the IP and who's been hospitalized, that's not considered direct hours. That sucks. LPC associates, graduate students, y'all are smart people. You can get in here and propose that we change that. All right, so I'm planting seeds. You feel that? You feel it? You want me to water a little bit? So here we go. LPC, another change. I don't see any language that talks about the same type, size, and font. Now, was that picky and ticky-tacky before? Yeah, probably. But did it make sure that our LPC associates were protected when there was another rule out there saying they cannot appear to be in private practice? Absolutely. When we saw the LPC associate name followed by the supervisor in the same type, size, and font, we knew they were not in private practice. So taking that same type, size, and font for me, right, because I like to be kind of a forecaster, means a couple of things. Either number one, they don't care if LPC associates appear in private practice, or they're laying the groundwork for LPC associates to practice in their own private practice. I'm voting for the latter. So we'll see, not ladder with a D, LATT, get it, right? I want LPC associates to be in practice. So while that rule is gone, if you're watching me, if you're an LPC supervisor, Just do best practices. If you're an LPC associate, make sure you're still following the rule. We had some records change. Everything is 7 years now. I don't know if that's good or bad. I do electronic records, so mine are going to stay with me forever probably. LMFTs, the technology assisted CE requirements went down. Let's see, LPC supervisor course. What was this one? Oh, the 2-year rule is back. I don't think that's a big deal. LPC supervisor CEs. This is kind of strange. I saw the word additional for the first time, and I watch the rules a lot, and I saw the word additional. So if you're a supervisor, this may mean that additional hours need to happen. In fact, that's how I'm reading it. I'm reading it as 30 hours now instead of 24 in a renewal cycle. Other changes, LMFT associates, your relational hours went down. I know that you're breathing a sigh of relief, but please, please make it a point of going and getting those. It's very, very good for you to have those hours with more than one person in the room. LMFT CE, some limits are back regarding online, which means asynchronous, which means it was recorded before and there's no interaction. I think this rule sucks. That's me personally. So if you want to get out your pens and you're taking notes and you want to change some sucky rules, this one might be a good one. LMFT Associate CE, it's the same thing. You have some limitations now as to the number of rules, CEs that you can get asynchronously. And so here we are, right? Let's go to now showing you some rules changed. I've shown you some rules that, you know, me personally, I think suck. And what I left off of here is the fact that LPC associates cannot be in practice. And the reason I did that, it's not a change. It's been around forever. LMFT associates can be in practice. And of course, that's been the way since I started back in 1998, that's been around. So I'm going to show you now how to propose a rule. So I hope you have your pens and papers ready, or your phones and digital thumbs. I don't know, whatever you use to write with. So what I'm looking at right now is actually the LPC rules for November 2020. This is the latest version. You can download that at the Behavioral Health Executive Council website. Everything's on PDF now, so it's super easy to take a look at and download. So the reason I'm looking at LPC is because every member board set of rules, that's psychology, social work, LPC, LMFT, each set of rules will begin the same way. They begin with the first 72 pages as BHEC. So this rule actually appears, this is 882.21. This will be the same in each member board set of rules, okay? So we're on about page 19. So to make a rule, any interested person may petition for rulemaking in accordance with 2001.021, blah, blah, blah. The written request must contain a return mailing address for the agency's response. So if you're my age, you know how to do a self-addressed stamped envelope because you watched Zoom when you were a kid, right? Self-addressed stamped. If you're my age, you'll get that reference. The written request must, at a minimum, set forth or identify the rule the petitioner wants the council to adopt or change, reasons why the petitioner believes the requested rulemaking is necessary, and include a copy of the proposed rule or any proposed changes with deletions crossed through and additions underlined. So if you have ever turned in a second draft or a final draft of a paper, you know how to do this. Hello, grad students. You guys are doing this right now, at least if you're taking one of my classes. Additionally, the written request must affirmatively show that the requester qualifies as an interested person under this rule. Well, I don't know who an interested person wouldn't be, right? Because all of these rules pertain to all Texans, but I'm assuming, you know what happens when you assume, I'm assuming that this means if you're a grad student, professional, interested person, requests which do not affirmatively show that the request. So just make sure you put in your letter, I'm an interested person for these reasons. I'm a mental health professional. I'm a mental health graduate student. I'm right. Show what you want them to know. The written request should also, and this is the hard part, okay? So letter C is what I call, for me, I call it loading the dishwasher backwards, all right? So letter C, this is the hard part. The written request should also address the economic cost to persons required to comply with the rule, the effects of the rule on small or micro businesses or rural communities, and the impact the rule would have on local employment or economies if such information can be derived from available sources without undue cost or burden. So, right there, folks. If you can't get that information, don't let that be a deal breaker for you. Don't write this beautiful proposed rule and then get to this point and go, wah, I better not do it because I don't know how to do this. Here's your way out. Or go do the work, take a guess. And it, like I said before, the Badass Business Group is about growing your business and saving the world, okay? You're too important to lose to things like not following the rules. So if you're trying to save the world, but you're not following the rules, clash, you're going to be out of business, right? We don't want that. So thinking about proposing a rule, think about the win-win. Is it going to help your business? Is it going to help Texans? That is the marriage made in heaven. So if your wheels are turning by some of the changes that I showed you or some of the things I've talked about already, get to writing. The council will respond to a written request for an adoption of a rule from an interested person in accordance with blah, blah, blah. The term interested person as used in this rule shall have the same meaning. Okay, so you guys can read all that. So here we are. And all I did was I went to your LPC PDF, clicked download, and the first 72 pages are BHEC. Now, I know it's a little bit confusing because, okay, so so does that mean it's not going to be an LPC rule? Does that mean it's not going to be an LMFT rule? What you have to understand now is BHEC is like the DMV. They're going to do all of the work. They're going to go through all the paperwork. Our member boards, LPC, LMFT, social work, and psychology, still make rules as well. They have the power to make rules. They're just now going to be a checks and balances for each other. We don't have one that overturns the other, right? It's this idea of one of the terms you need to remember is antitrust, right? We don't want anybody creating rules that are going to benefit themselves and not anybody else, right? And so that's what BHEC is for as well, to provide that oversight. So we start with BHEC. We start with, and you go to the Behavioral Health Executive Council website, you download this, and it's easy. Now I got a couple of minutes. Here's the thing. Once the rules start to get visible, right? They're posted. There's something called the Texas Register. That's where they will appear. Everyone listening to my voice should be able to get emails and be notified when these rules are up for something called public comment. Public comment. Anybody can make a public comment, and believe me, they read them. And so I'm scrolling up. You guys can't see me, but it's subchapter B, right? So it's on about page 17. Now, in January, the Texas Supervisor Training Facebook group, their monthly consultation group, is inviting Dr. Catherine Bacon and Dr. Jody Elder. These folks were the LPC board liaisons for the Texas Counseling Association. In fact, Dr. Bacon still is. Dr. Elder is now an LPC board member, but they do exactly what I'm talking about. They go to board meetings, they make public comments, they keep an eye on the board to make sure that everything looks good and it's not benefiting one person over another person. They're doing everything that I'm talking about here. They represent you for Texas Counseling Association. So if you're a member of Texas Counseling Association and you go to their website and you see all those talking points, that's what Dr. Bacon is going to do. She's going to represent you when she goes to watch these boards. And Dr. Elder did that for the LMFT board before she became an LPC board member. So if you are a supervisor, get your butts over to Texas Supervisor Training, join it. Join our monthly consultation groups. I've got to end. Fred Burrell, I blew it again. I still did not get to your website. I promise you, I have not forgotten about you. I'm going to review your website. Don't give up on me, man. I will do it. All right, so it is 7:50. No, it's not 7:57. I need glasses. 9:57. This is Dr. Kate Walker. This has been your Thursday 30 for December 10th. Thanks for watching today. I'm going to try to end this gracefully, but y'all know I have so much stuff open right now, so let's see if I can do it and maintain eye contact. Have a great day.